Greetings of the session. In this session, we will concentrate on concepts of mesh analysis and how to find network parameters such as voltage across a resistor or current flowing through the resistance using mesh current analysis. So before going to the mesh current analysis, some of the required definitions we'll study, such as a loop. So in an electric network, any closed path is called as a loop. So in an electric network, any closed path is called as a loop. And the second one is a mesh. A mesh is a loop. See carefully, mesh is a loop in an electric network which does not contain any other loop within it. Means a mesh is a smallest possible loop within which subloops are not existing. For example, if I consider this network, so in this I named the nodes A, B, C, D and so on. So in this A, B, E, A. So this is the one of the closed path. A, B, E, A. So this is a loop as well as a mesh. Am I right? Because it is a closed path, so it is a mesh as per the definition of the loop, as per the definition of the loop, as well as it is the mesh because this is the loop within which subloop are not existing. Now if I consider A, B, C, E, A, this is the closed path A, B, C, E, A. So this is the closed path, so it is a loop. But this is not a mesh because in this loop A, B, C, E, A, another loop A, B, E, A exists or B, C, E, A exists. So this is not a B, C, E, A is not a smallest loop. So it is not a mesh. Whereas once again B, C, E, A, B, C, E, A, it is also a mesh. So we can conclude that all meshes are loops, but all loops are not meshes. Am I right? So in this loops are A, B, E, A, B, C, E, A, B, C, D, F, E, B. See here, it is a starting point and ending point should be the same. Starting node and ending node. Then only it will form a closed path. Right? But mesh is such a way that inside this loop, no more loops are existing. Am I right? So this is the smallest possible loop. Okay. Now how to find system parameter such as I want to find the current through the resistor R2. So how to find this using mesh current analysis? Mesh we identified. How to identify the mesh? We will learn. Now next is mesh current analysis. What is the procedure? So let us see the procedure first. So procedure for solving network using mesh current analysis. So in the first step, name all the nodes. So name all the nodes. So two or more elements connected, these are considered as a nodes here. So name all the nodes. Next, convert practical current sources to practical voltage sources. See here, we need to convert practical current sources to practical voltage sources. What is the practical current source means? Ideal current source in parallel with the resistance. So if any practical current sources are existing in the network, convert into practical voltage source. Next, identify meshes and assume mesh current for each mesh. So identify meshes and assume mesh currents for each mesh with the direction of flow, preferably clockwise direction. What is mesh? Write mesh current equations by applying KVL to each mesh. So for each mesh you need to apply KVL and write the equations in terms of mesh currents, so it is called as mesh current equation. Okay, next step, using Cramer's rule, solve mesh current equation whatever you are obtained by applying a KVL. So solve those mesh current equation using a Cramer's rule and find mesh currents. Then at the last, using mesh currents, calculate required parameter. So once you calculate the mesh current, you can calculate the branch current, current through any element, voltage across any element, because voltage is equal to current into resistance. So you can calculate current, voltage as well as the power if it is required. So power is equal to V into I or I square R. By using any formula, we can find out the required parameters. So using mesh currents, calculate required parameter. So in this, solving a network using mesh current analysis means you need to find out the mesh current, and using the mesh current you need to find other parameters. So we will consider one network, simple network. So here I have already named A, B, C, D, E and F. So identify the meshes. So what happens to the meshes? This is the one of the mesh. I'll name it as mesh 1. This is the mesh 2. This is the mesh 3. Okay. C, D, F, C is the mesh 3. Now what is the next? Assume mesh current. So for each mesh I need to assume a mesh current. So assuming mesh current I1 with the direction of flow, means clockwise direction I assume, that means this mesh current in this mesh flow in such a way that A to B, B to E, E to E. So this is the mesh current which I assume to mesh 1. Similarly, assume mesh current to mesh 2 as I2 as well as to mesh 3 as I3. So all the meshes assume mesh current. What is the next step? Apply KVL to each mesh. Now by applying to KVL to mesh 1, that is A, B, E, A. Now what is the when you are applying a KVL A, B, see I am tracing the path also along with the mesh AB, first path AB. Path direction is AB as well as current direction is also AB. So based on the current direction, we can assume it as this is the higher potential and this is the lower potential. This is the based on a current flows from higher potential to lower potential through the passive elements. So whenever the current flows from higher potential to lower potential, what is the voltage? Voltage drops. So I will consider as a minus I1 R1. Minus I1 R1. Now when the next branch BE, in the branch BE, what is the current flows? So two possible currents, I1 minus I2. Because I1 flows in this direction, in this particular branch, I2 flows in this direction, in the particular branch R4. So, in the branch R4, resistance R4, current flows, resultant current is either I1 minus I2 from B to E or I2 minus I1. So as I am writing the equation for mesh 1, I will consider I1 is greater than I2. I1 is greater than I2. That means resultant current I am assuming in this direction. That is, then what happens? B is a higher potential, E is a lower potential. So what happens to this voltage? Voltage drops. So minus I1 minus I2 into R4 is the voltage drop across this element. Correct? So minus I1 R1 minus I1 minus I2 into R4, and then coming to path EA. In the EA, active element voltage source is present. This is the higher potential. So in the path EA, this is the higher potential, this is the lower potential. So voltage drops, voltage falls. So the equation becomes minus R1 I1 minus I1 minus I2 into R4 minus V1 equal to 0. This is as it is by applying KVL to mesh 1. Now I will rearrange this such a way that all the voltage drops I am taking to the other side and the sources I am retaining in the same side. So when I am taking this to the other side, what happens? R1 I1 plus this minus become plus I1 minus I2 into R4 equal to minus V1. Correct? So R1 I1 plus I1 minus I2 into R4. So I will rearrange in such a way that in terms of the coefficient of I1 and I2. So R1 plus R4 into I1 minus I2 R4 equal to minus V1. So in this R1, R4, V1 are the known values, two unknowns I1 and I2. This I will consider as equation 1. Now applying to KVL to node 2, mesh 2. So that is BCEB. So when I am applying the KVL to this mesh, what happens? Now once again, what is the current flowing through BC? I2 is flowing in this direction. So this is the higher potential, this is the lower potential. So what is the voltage drop? Minus I2 R2. Then what is the current flowing through CE? CE is two current flows in this. One is I2, another one is I3. I2 and I3. Similarly, as I applied concept here, so I am assuming the resultant current flows in this particular direction. The reason is I am writing the equation for mesh 2 and I am assuming I2 is greater than I3 as well as I1. So resultant current flows in this direction with the value I2 minus I3. So what is the voltage drop across this? I2 minus I3 into R5, because this acts as a higher potential, this acts as a lower potential. So voltage falls. Now in this branch, in this no current, no passive elements, no voltage drops. So coming to this branch R4. Now I am writing the voltage drop across R4, but for mesh 2, so I am assuming resultant current flows in this particular direction with I2 minus I1. I2 minus I1 reason is because I am writing the equation of voltage drop across R4 for mesh 2 and I am assuming I2 is greater than other currents. right? So what happens the equation? By applying KVL to mesh 2 BCEB minus I2 R2 minus I2 minus I3 into R5 minus I2 minus I1 into R4 equal to 0. Correct? Now here no source voltage in this equation, but still I will take all this to the other side. So what happens? R2 I2 plus I2 minus I3 into R5 plus I2 minus I1 into R4 equal to 0. So rearranging in terms of the coefficient of I1, I2 and I3. So what is the I1 coefficient? Minus I1 R4 plus I2 into R2 plus R5 plus R4. So R2 plus R4 plus R5 into I2 minus I3 R5 equal to 0. This is the equation I will consider as equation 2. So as I told, these are the mesh current equation. Mesh 1 current equation, mesh 2 current equation. Now similarly apply KVL to mesh 3. So through R3 and R4 current I3 flows and the current flow direction is this one, and here current flow direction and this one. So if I apply KVL to mesh 3, C, D, F, E, C. So what happens? Minus R3 I3 minus I3 R6 minus V2, because voltage higher potential to lower potential, voltage falls, minus I3 minus I2 into R5 equal to 0. So by rearranging or taking to the other side, R3 I3 plus R3 I3 R6 plus I3 minus I2 into R5 equal to minus V2, because I am taking voltage drops to the other side, source voltage in the same side. So equation becomes minus I2 R4 plus R3 plus R4 plus R5 into I3 equal to minus V2. This is the third equation. So in the network, 3 meshes and 3 mesh equation, 1, 2 and 3. Now you may ask a question, sir, is it necessary to take this voltage drop on the other side? Can we take the source voltage to the other side? You can. You can retain voltage drops in the same side. You can take source voltage to the other side. But why I have considered like this? The reason is I will get uniformity in the equation. Now what is the uniformity in the equation by doing so? Now see, this is the mesh 1 equation. In the mesh 1 equation, I1 coefficient is positive. Other current coefficients are negative. This is the mesh 2 equation. So in this mesh 2 equation, mesh 2 current I2 coefficients are positive plus, whereas I1 and I3 other mesh current coefficients are negative. Now if I go through this mesh 3 equation, I3 coefficient is positive and other mesh current coefficients are negative. So by doing so, I will get for which mesh I have written the equation, that mesh current coefficient will be positive. And what is the value of the mesh current? Coefficient of mesh current I1 in a mesh current equation 1. So R1 plus R4. This is sum of the resistances in mesh 1. Am I right? Sum of the resistances in mesh 1. R2 plus R4 plus R5. These are the sum of the mesh current, sum of the resistances in mesh 2. In the mesh 3, I3 coefficient is R3 plus R4 plus R5, sum of the resistances in mesh 3. So this in the equation 1, I1 coefficient is positive as well as sum of the resistances. In a mesh equation 2, I2 coefficient is positive as well as sum of the resistances. And what about the other mesh current coefficients? So in the mesh 1, it is not attached to mesh 3. No common element between mesh 1 and mesh 3. None of the element is common. So in the mesh equation 1, I3 coefficient is 0. I3 coefficient is not there. Whereas I2 coefficient is minus R4. R4, which is a common to mesh 1 as well as a mesh 2. Value of the resistance common in the branch to mesh 1 as well as mesh 2. Now in the mesh equation 2, I1 equation, which is common to I2 and I1, I3 coefficient, value of the resistance common to mesh 2 and mesh 3, R5. So here I will write general mesh current equations. Now R11 I1 plus, now I am assuming there are n meshes in the network. So R11 I1 plus R12 I2 plus R13 and so on equal to sigma V1. Sigma V1 is because in the mesh 1 there may be possibility of 2 or more mesh current source voltages. So sum of the all source voltages. Similarly for second mesh, R21 I1, R22 I2, R23 I3 and so on. This is the general equation for n meshes. So these are the general equation for n meshes. Now what are the values of this n mesh equation coefficients? Rij, that is R12, R13 or Rn1, Rn2, all this Rij is minus value and the resistance in the branch common to mesh I and mesh j. If there is no common, its value is 0. So Rij is minus of resistance in the branch common to mesh I and mesh j. Rii is sum of the resistances present in the mesh I, that is R11, R22, R33 or Rnn are the sum of the resistances present in the mesh I. Vi is the value of source voltage present in the mesh. Value of the source voltage present in the mesh I. Now, what is the sign convention? The sign is positive if rising in the path direction. Rising in the path direction. In the previous slide, we have traced the path from E to A. In the path E to A, it is falling. So, it is negative. So, this Vi values are plus if the rising in the path direction or negative if falling in the path direction. So like this we can directly write mesh equation. And solving this mesh equation you need to apply Cramer's rule. So we will apply Cramer's rule and find the parameters for a particular network with given values. That is in the next session. Now before going to the next session, one more topic in this, that is the concepts of super mesh. Concepts of super mesh in the sense, in the network, if there is an ideal practical current sources, then you can convert into practical voltage sources. Now suppose there is an ideal current source. If there is an ideal current source present in the network, then how to solve the problem? Okay, because you cannot apply KVL to the current source. Because voltage drop across the current source is a don't know. You can't find out. So next is, what do you mean by super mesh? So whenever an ideal current source is connected in a branch, then a loop formed by combining two meshes without considering a branch in which current source is connected is called as super mesh. For example, in this particular network. So here is a current source I1. So I can't consider the mesh A, B, D, A because I cannot find the voltage drop across this current source. So it is not possible to apply KVL to this mesh. Similarly, I cannot apply KVL to this mesh, though these two are the meshes. So in such a case, I need to, whenever current source is connected in a branch, then a loop formed by combining two meshes without considering this element. That means combining these two meshes. So this is a loop which is formed by combining these two meshes and without considering a branch in which current source is connected. So this is considered as a super mesh. A, B, C, D, A. So in such a case, how to solve a problem? So in this particular case, this source current you need to write in terms of the mesh current. So this source current you need to write in terms of the mesh current, and then you need to apply KVL to the super mesh. Something like this. So this source current in terms of the, so I is upward direction. So in terms of the mesh current, I2 minus I1 equal to I. This is the one equation. Then applying KVL to super mesh A, B, C, D, A, what will happen? In this, minus R1 I1 minus R2 I2 minus R3 I2 minus V1 equal to 0. Correct? Path direction and the current directions are same, so you can take it as a negative, as I considered in the previous example. So minus R1 I1 minus R2 I2 minus R3 I2 minus V1 equal to 0. By simplifying this, that is by taking the voltage drops to the other side, R1 I1 plus R2 plus R3 I2 equal to minus V1. So these two equations in terms of the mesh currents. So two equations, two unknowns. Two equations, two unknowns. Solve these two using a Cramer's rule. Okay. Now one more possibility is, this ideal current source is connected in a branch which is not connected to any other meshes. Open end of the mesh, suppose something like this. So this current source is connected to mesh 2, but it is connected to open end of the mesh 2. So in this case, how to? In this case, you can apply KVL to mesh 1 and mesh 2. Instead of applying KVL, you can directly express mesh 2 current in terms of the source current. That is, by applying KVL to mesh 1, what will happen? Minus R1 I1 minus I1 minus I2 R3 minus V1 equal to 0. So R1 plus R3 into I1 minus I2 R3 equal to minus V1. This is as we did in the earlier case, applying KVL to this mesh. Now here I cannot apply KVL because ideal current source is present in the mesh. So I'll express mesh current in terms of the source current. So that is I2 equal to minus I, because this direction is upward direction. I2 is equal to I. So like this we will obtain two mesh equation 1 and 2, and we will solve this and we will find mesh current, then we will find the other parameters. So like this we need to apply mesh current concept, mesh current analysis to the given network, and we need to find the network parameters. So we will apply mesh current analysis for a particular problem and we will solve the network in the next session. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.